Okay, so I wanted to show you this.
Oh, I thought you already watched this.
No, I didn't. So chatters came in here and were like, dude, have you addressed the video that came out on you? And I was like, what? Of like Charlie Kirk obliterating you. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? I haven't talked to Charlie Kirk since like 2018. And it turns out a couple conservatives, including the based conservative.
Oh, the based one.
Made Hasan Piker made this video. And I thought it was this video that they were talking about. I was like, oh, what the fuck? People are still doing like the fuck Hasan videos, which used to pop, but they don't anymore. But I guess they still pop in conservative circles, right? And then I found this millionaire mentor.
What?
Fight erupts as Charlie Kirk obliterates Hasan Piker in epic debate. And this video has 921,000 views since we fucking last played. Since I mentioned on stream.
All your fans are watching
in 2 fucking days.
Fuck, my channel's shit.
I know, dude. That's what I thought too. Dude, that's what I thought too. You need to start making like Hasan Sucks videos, and I need to start making them too.
I've got all this like rare access to your like darkest moments.
I know.
I could film you sleeping.
Yeah, I saw you at Denny's alone the other day, and you took a massive shit in the restroom. Yeah, totally. So,
are his other videos?
Of course, no, dude. Okay, so millionaire mentor. You're like, what the fuck? That's insane. He teaches
us how to do.
He's doing like that's classic millionaire mentorship stuff, though. I looked at his other videos. And his other videos get 2,000 views, 3,000 views. These other videos, 3,000 views. Woke student gets humiliated as Dinesh D'Souza destroys his argument. Piers Morgan goes off on woke activist, 44,000 views.
This is insane.
Woke culture shattered by Jordan Peterson, 11,000 views, 17,000 views. He has 300,000 subscribers.
Wait, what the fuck? He owes you money.
And then we looked at his like, we looked at his social blade. And last year, in the month of August last year, he had minus 58 million video views, which means he like privated.
Oh, they took him off.
He probably took off a bunch of videos.
Oh, that's so lame.
Yeah. So like last year alone, my man, lost more than like a total of 60 million views.
What's nuts is that he can still do it. Like, surely if 1 year you lose 57 million views because of bots, surely you'd be like, okay, this guy can't upload anymore. Like, it's insane.
It could be a bot account, or it could be a botted account.
See, I've had it on my channel where they're like, oh, there have been some, suspicious views on your channel. We're going to alter the views for that. And they get rid of like 200 views or something. Like it's not, 57 million is pretty hectic. This guy's paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah, apparently this video was like, posted on the Turning Point USA shit. Yeah, likes are still at 23K.
You've never seen an intellectual beating like...
By the way, likes were at 23K. Video went up by 100,000 views. Likes still at 23K. But, that's besides the point. Anyway, so let's take a look at this video.
You're ready? It might not be nice to watch yourself being obliterated.
Dude,
I would not want to watch myself being obliterated.
I know. It's going to be really sad. Well, luckily I was there, so I know what actually happened.
What's the occasion? What gets you and Charlie Kirk together?
Politicon. Back when that used to be a thing. So it was a convention. It was a political convention where they would just like bring, leftists, Democrats, right wingers, Nazis together and have them duke it out. So I debated Charlie Kirk in 2018. The video, I mean, I've done videos on it. I've done analysis on it. I actually had former friend of the show, Destiny, back when I was just starting off on Twitch, do analysis on it and stuff like that. Bro, that isn't even him in the video. He hired someone to dunk on you. Jason Stone, are you ready for the next level? He's a serial entrepreneur with multiple seven-figure. Wait, this guy's like at least camera ready. Why did he hire like a incredibly unattractive person?
Wait, that's actually him?
Wait, if this is him, why? What is going on right now?
Maybe conservatives need people who look like them in order to spruik the
message.
He
could be a conservative looking person. Anyway, I think that guy might have just bought the account and is like rebranding it potentially.
It's so rough. I just feel like you can't do bots on YouTube. Like they want internal views. It's just a weird thing to do. So
this is a bought YouTube account from India. Wait, what? So this guy bought it, but then hired this guy to do the video? I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
this, Hasan Piker stood no chance against my boy Charlie Kirk in this debate on capitalism and the free market when Hasan was exposed as walking and talking contradiction against his own positions on the subject.
Technically sitting,
but that's not all, because you need to stick around.
Wait, is he gonna say that I was like I'm rich and that's why I can't be socialist? Because like back then I was broke as fuck, which is like the pivotal moment that he's gonna show in this debate is when Charlie Kirk is like talking about how much money I make. And I tell him I make $60,000 a year. Like, what the fuck?
Well, then you're angry at him because you're jealous.
Yeah, exactly. Then you switch it. They're like, oh, you're just jealous of rich people. Exactly.
Around to see the debate nearly turn into a wrestling match as the Young Turks' Cenk Uygur starts screaming from the audience for no reason at all. Just subscribe to the channel for more discussions like this. Let's jump into it.
By the way, this is precisely why I say like it's so much easier to be a fucking right-wing grifter. Like this fucking guy looks like shit, sounds like shit, is resurfacing a debate from like 8 fucking years ago. Not 8 years ago, but whatever. And is like, yeah, that's right. He got fucking owned. Instant 1 million views in 2 days.
It's amazing.
I'm not gonna lie. Both of us are jealous of the numbers, by the way. Let's make no mistake. I am, dude.
I gotta write obliterating in my title a bit more.
Dude, no, YouTube just like pumps right wing shit so fucking hard. I swear to God. I mean, I found him. I think he's just a host they hire.
Wait, they hired him and put him in this apartment so he looks like a millionaire.
He doesn't look like this anymore either, by the way. But anyway, let's see what my boy's doing here.
Currently, the economic system that we're living under is inherently exploitative, it's inherently oppressive, and we're now actually feeling the devastating impact of that more than ever. We live in a country...
Wait, how is 60K broke? How the fuck is 60K broke? There's always some like dumb motherfucker in the chat. How is $60,000 broke? I live in America, in Los Angeles, California, bro. What are you talking about?
Things are very expensive here.
What the fuck are you talking about, brother? Like, there's always a guy who's like, oh, dude, $60,000. You were living a life of luxury. I'm actually signing off from a potato right now. I'm homeless in Uganda. Like, okay, man, thanks. What the fuck?
Socialism is famously a race to the bottom.
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah. That also is the other side of the equation that we don't even ever fucking get to discuss. Also, $60,000 now is pretty much broke everywhere in the United States of America. $60,000 back in 2018 wasn't great for California, but like might have been pretty solid for like Oklahoma or whatever.
What's the median in America? Because this is like the median wage in Australia, $60K US.
Right now, I don't know. Let's see. Times have changed. Median wage in the U.S. is $45,000. Why'd you say $45,000?
I don't understand. Well, maybe the different cities in America are cheaper, but I could like.
Wait, $60K USD is the median wage in Australia?
Pretty
no
high.
Shot. What?
It was 45 just like 5 years ago.
Oh my God.
65. Is that Australian or is that 98? Yeah. 98 is me. 98's high.
98,000 per year, and the median salary around 65,000.
Oh, the average is median 65. Wait, that's not American?
No, that's got to be Australian dollar dues, right? Yeah.
Because like a teacher's starting salary is like 55,000 Australian. Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue.
Where there are 40 million Americans, we live in the wealthiest nation that has ever existed, the wealthiest nation on the planet, and we have 40 million Americans living in poverty. We have 18.5 million Americans living in extreme poverty, according to the latest UN reports. Climate change is happening no matter how hard people try to deny its existence, and its outcomes are devastating, especially for millennials, and this is something that we need to focus on. And unfortunately, every single time we tried to bring about any sort of socialized solutions to these problems that the free market obviously fails to provide solutions for, we get called socialist, and that idea is inherently damaging. We live under an inherently oppressive capitalist dogma, and I'm here to talk about that because I think that at least questioning that and striving to find a better system is exactly what young people should be doing right now.
Right. So inherently oppressive. So small business owners are oppressing their employees.
Come on, you're hyper-focusing on small business, dog. I'm talking about capitalism versus socialism.
Even though 85% of all jobs in this country are created by small businesses, even though under this president, poverty rates have gone to the lowest level in the last 65 years.
Do you want to ask questions? Wait, hold on.
Let me finish. I let you finish, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Let me finish. 3.9 million Americans have gone off food stamps and into the labor force under this president. That should be applauded by everybody. When less people have to...
They cut... That's my favorite one. Yeah, when they cut food stamps and they force people into even worse conditions, and they're like, "What a fucking dub! What a whopping dub that was!" Like, when we killed poor people.
We created lots of jobs. These people are doing 3 jobs now.
Yeah. People used to do 1 job back in the day. That was some pussy shit. Now they're doing 3. Oh, it's awesome.
To go to government for money and for meaning, and they instead are able to go to a job and have a paycheck. That's a good thing. And so the final thing I'll say is this, and you'll find disagreement. Just because someone gets rich does not mean someone gets poor. In order for you to get rich in a free market system, you must have a good idea. You must create value. You must employ people. You probably borrowed money. And you have an 80% chance of that business not succeeding. In a free market, yes, we applaud success, but you must take...
Why is Hasan objectively hotter then, but I'd much rather have him now?
Hey.
I don't think I look that different there than I do now.
Responsibility for failure, and you have seen in the last 100 years...
I'm just wearing a suit.
The standard of living increased for all people across the world. Things get better, prices go down, and we are able to enjoy the abundance that only a free market system can create. And you know what? I don't have to call you guys socialist. Bernie Sanders
He's got it mounted like 10 meters in
we
the
should
air.
reject socialism.
Conjecture versus hard statistics, that's the bird's eye view of this debate, but I want to pick at something that Hasan Piker just remarked about capitalism as supposedly inherently exploitative.
Okay. Let's hear.
6 years later, he's got the comeback.
Yeah. It took him. I can't wait. I suspect that he's going to talk about the extraction of surplus labor value is good, actually. You fucking idiot. Poor people don't know what to do with all that money.
That's true.
All that money that they're generating for their bosses, it's much better served in the hands of their bosses. Duh.
Easy.
How can Hasan make that explicitly Marxist talking point and yet not claim to be a Marxist? The entire edifice of Marxist thinking lies in
Dog, that was literally fucking 6 years ago. I think we're way past that point. People call me a terrorist now, okay? We've moved beyond like, oh, Hasan, is he Marxist? Is he not a Marxist? No, they're like, Hasan is a Marxist, Islamist, fundamentalist, Al-Qaeda supporting terrorist now. That's like
Hamas Piker.
Yeah, Hamas Piker is what they call me nowadays, motherfucker. This guy's still talking. This guy's arguing against me from 6 years ago.
But the problem is...
Wait. Okay, Marxist
the entire edifice of Marxist thinking lies in construing the profit motive as an exploitation of the working class, and
it's not construing the profit motive. It's just descriptive. Like, it's not... You're describing what profit is. What do you mean?
As a means to extract their labor with minimum possible compensation. But the problem is
that no boss is like, I would love to pay you above market rate. The concept of market rate is literally determined on that exact principle. What are you talking about?
No, you make profit by coming up with good ideas. like starting a channel and paying for bots. That's a really good idea. Make lots of money.
Millionaire mindset, baby. No, but like actually,
like selling tacos. That's like, the B-roll's really good as well.
Yeah. No,
the person handing that taco is making like $2.
Yeah. Or they're their own boss, baby.
Yeah,
okay.
It's construing the entire system of the free market as exploitative when it is the same system that has accomplished more to uplift people from poverty.
Okay, he just moved past the exploitation. He didn't even like try to tackle surplus labor value. He just said like, oh yeah, it's exploitative to pay people the least amount that you can pay them. So stupid. Think about how awesome capitalism is at uplifting people from poverty, which like there's 2 different schools of thought on this. Either you look at like the change of what was considered to be extreme poverty to what it is now as a reason as to why so many people have been quote unquote uplifted from extreme poverty, or you look at China. Which, if I were to ask this person, I suspect he wouldn't say China is like a state capitalist enterprise or something. I think he would.
I think they're pretty versatile. These guys. I feel like China's capitalist when it's bringing people out of poverty.
Okay. Yeah. How does that? Oh, so slave work is fucked up. Oh, so you think the pyramids suck? Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, someone doesn't like cotton clothes. Weird. Anyway,
slavery has done more to clothe people than any other system.
Yeah, exactly. How dare you? How dare you talk about that with such unseeming terms, such mean terms? Isn't Walmart the most socialist corporation in America? No. Okay. Overall, yes. The reason why billions have been lifted out of extreme poverty is China. Is Chinese development. Take China out of the equation, the situation is not great.
We're going backwards.
Yeah, we're not going forward. We're going backwards. You're fucking delusional, but maybe he loves the CCP. Maybe he's going to say that now. Let's see.
Across the world in any centralized system of government or socialist economy could even fathom. Since the turn of the last century, humanity has dropped the share of people in extreme poverty from 6% to less.
Oh, yeah, he is doing the extreme poverty.
Oh, no, we changed the metric for.
Oh, yeah. Okay, not only is the metric changed, okay, but also beyond that, it's still China. He's a dengist. Yeah, no, I was wrong. My bad, bro. He's questioning he's questioning my leftist bona fides. He's like, oh, excuse me, sir.
10%. There's no single person or government that can claim credit for that, but a simple idea at the heart of it.
No, there is one. It's China. There's one. Like literally. That's not even. By the way, the funniest part about that is that like it's not like economists even call into question that reality. Like economists will openly be like, no, it's China. So it's like there's not a book that agrees with you on this front. But you can just like leave that data as it is. And that's one thing, right? You can leave that data as it is, and that's fine, okay, to make an argument. But if you like, I don't know, scratch the surface of that data a little bit, you will recognize that, no, it is literally China, which is ironic because he talked about centralization.
Yeah, like, he didn't even talk about socialism. He's talking about centralized governments.
Yeah, centralized government is a bad thing. Okay, you know, I don't know which government is not really all that centralized ultimately, especially not fucking the United States of America, but like, But you know, China is definitely, once again, the argument that you're making is China, and they are, due to arguably their centralization. But let's continue.
People have the right to private property and the freedom to engage in trade and cooperation to enrich everyone in the process. And yet there's no shortage of people in the United States and across the world.
I love these like theoretical arguments. Like, dude, it's lifting people out of poverty, not China. Also, everyone's getting wealthy along the way.
True.
Yeah, that's why there's like people fucking taking shits on the sidewalk in the United States of America.
They do that. That's their choice.
Yeah, because it's a moral failure. Yeah. Fuck, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Capitalism works if it wasn't for all these degenerate people who don't know how to make good decisions.
Who aren't watching Millionaire Mentor.
Exactly. If you're mentored by the right people,
yeah, that's be so true. Yeah, I mean, here is the socialist. Here's the socialist. This is a Trotskyist paper. The BBC. Is China lifted 100 million people out of poverty? China's poverty figures. Poverty is defined by China as everyone in rural areas earning less than 2/3. Oh, wait, what is this? Wait, what the fuck? This graph, this World Bank graph shows that extreme poverty fell in China by a lot.
Like 800 million people.
That's so. Wait, is the World Bank like? Is that a Marxist institution?
Yeah. No, they're globalists, which is the same
Jewish.
The same thing. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Now let this guy talk. I want to hear. I got so excited when he started talking, like he actually was addressing Marxist theory. I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be.
He did for like a second, only to just completely sidestep and be like, "Capitalism is awesome, you fucking idiot."
The world that are willing to sacrifice these two fundamental principles to the altar of some unattainable utopia. Watch Hasan Piker struggle to make sense of that, even to himself.
You know what socialist is? Bernie Sanders wants an 80% tax rate on the rich.
Venezuela too, right? Dude, listen.
Bernie Sanders wants to keep our fossil fuel assets in the road.
You want me to explain it to you? Because you obviously don't understand it. Do you want me to explain it to you?
Is Cuba not socialist? Is North Korea not socialist?
Cuba is socialist and it's awesome. Suck my dick.
The most doctors per capita.
Vietnam not socialist? Was Zimbabwe not socialist? You can laugh all you want, Hasan,
Okay, do you
but
want me to
100
explain it
million
to you?
people died under socialism in the last 100 years.
Oh, wait. I wonder if he cuts off my argument because I actually fucking dunk on him pretty hard here where I talk about like global
That's
capitalism, the deaths under global capitalism under the similar principles would be akin to 14 million due to famine alone before we even factor in like,
Well, you had
other diseases.
Who was it? Arundhati Roy, who's someone like compiled like just India alone over the past 100 years, deaths from capitalism. It's just like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Insane number of
And you
people.
have the gumption to continue.
Okay.
You can keep laughing.
Hold on.
Yeah, 100 million people died under socialism, which includes the Black Book of Communism figures, which is so funny. Literally talk about all the Nazis that were killed, okay, and also factors in the possible children they would have had. Are you fucking insane? Oh man, I cannot believe all the Nazi children that could have been alive today if the communists didn't fucking kill them in World War II.
It's also just
wow.
It's also just a general economic development thing where like
Yeah.
if you start industrializing, you move into cities, people do just have less children. That's just what happens. I mean, I think that's like a bad thing. That's what this guy's,
Yeah.
To the victims' families from Cuba, from
Yeah.
Venezuela,
Yeah.
from Korea, from Vietnam, from Mao's China, from Stalin's Russia.
Vietnam? Wait, dude, he was just dropping so many bombs in there. I didn't even fucking. It took me 6 years to hear him say Vietnam. Who was more victimized in Vietnam? I wonder. Who was responsible for more deaths in Vietnam? Communism, which under the watchful gaze of Ho Chi Minh, gave the Vietnamese people liberation and autonomy and sovereignty, or the American Defense Department that dumped so much fucking Agent Orange in Vietnam that children still have fucking birth defects in the country to this day. Anyway,
Russia, the number one killer of citizens from innocent civilians in the last 100 years has been the very idea that you shamelessly wear on your sleeve every single day. Marxism has killed more people than any other ideology over the last 100 years.
Okay. Thank you for those words.
You're welcome.
When 100 million people die under a communist dictatorship, and some of those millions are also Nazis, which is included there, whatever, you blame communism.
National Socialist
or you
Workers
blame,
Party?
Or you blame...
I forgot about that.
Hitler's a communist
Oh
too.
yeah, Hitler. Oh yeah, Adolf Hitler, famous communist.
He was such a communist. He wanted to kill all the other communists to make him the best one.
Yeah. Dude, World War II was leftist infighting. Yeah, FDR, also communist.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah. Wow. Let him cook.
You blame socialism, but when 7 million people die every year under our current global capitalist environment, where just by famine alone, before we even talk about imperialism and before we even talk about the damaging wars that are happening all around the world, then it's the individual. So you're essentially telling every single person that's poor, it's your fault that you're poor, it's your fault that you die under a capitalist system, but if you were under a
I
communist
have
system...
never said that.
I mean, that's literally what you're saying.
No, it's not. I'm
So
saying
whose
that
fault is it? Whose fault is it that 7 million people every year die just by famine-related diseases and famine under our current global capitalist structure?
Which, by the way, has a massive abundance of food production. Like when we're killing all the fucking birds, or when we're trying to maybe restructure under, when you're trying to move an agrarian society to the industrial giant over the course of and engaging in collectivization efforts over the course of multiple decades, while also fighting a massive fucking war against the industrial might of the Nazis. Obviously, there's gonna be some miscalculations along the way with crop rotations. Like that's I would say that in and of itself is still pretty bad, but nowhere near as horrific as like having an abundance of food, like a surplus of food.
It's just there.
That's just there, but because of the profit motive, like
it's funny,
people have to die.
They focus on these guys coming in like Stalin and these famines, and it's just like, what about the famines like under the Tsarist Russian Empire? Like,
Yeah.
that shit was brutal. Like, it's just like, no, that's that's irrelevant. You know, all the famines that were going on up until then don't count. It's the ones that when the communists came.
No, personally, I think it's unconscionable. It's unconscionable. Sorry. It's unconscionable to have an abundance of food and have like the capacity to basically feed every single person on this planet, and simply have a logistical problem and a lack of interest to do so due to the profit motive that and allow at least 7 million people to die due to famine every fucking year, then fuck up on your efforts of how to manage an entire economy. I think it's significantly worse.
Whose individual fault is it?
Yeah. Why is it with the system when it comes to communism? But it's actually
go from 40 years to 80 years in America for women and 76 years for women.
You're not answering my question.
Global poverty is at its all-time low than it ever has been. It's dropped below 10%.
You're not answering my question. You're not answering. You're talking about something
There is not a singular
different.
person why individuals might die, unfortunately. However, what's going to stop that?
It's unfortunate when they die.
Oh, yes, yes, Hasan. Death is unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
I love what Charlie Kirk just did there. It's
so
incredible.
Sick.
This was literally when he was like first linking up with Kanye, I think.
That people like Hasan Piker would first decry the corruption by what is fundamentally just crony capitalism, and then call for a select few people to have centralized control over the economy, with seemingly no understanding that centralizing power also means centralizing corruption. And guess what? That's exactly what is happening in every state.
I don't see a difference between those two. I think centralized corruption and dispersed corruption are both bad. Like, I don't.
Yeah, no,
like,
you don't understand.
Isn't
dude.
it worse when like the government?
No, you don't understand. That's crony capitalism because real capitalism hasn't been tried yet.
Yeah, right.
Real capitalism hasn't been tried yet. Once we do, though, oh my god, dude! Once we open up the baby market. The free market of babies, okay, as Rothbard intended, we will literally arrive at full tilt, perfect utopian capitalism. Okay. Anyway, yeah, you can have decentralized socialism. Yeah, in your mind. Okay.
I mean, I think that sounds nice. It's just if you do, the Americans are going to come in and wipe the floor with you.
Yeah, that's great. It happens sometimes. Could happen.
I think it's a nice idea.
Yeah, I like it. Anyway, let's continue.
State and country that has tried to implement socialist economies, where people's greed for wealth makes them want to seek political power rather than...
I don't understand. Like, dude, the greed for wealth is good under capitalism. like that's your modus operandi. Like, that's literally your operating principle. That's what your starting point is. Like, greed is good. Like, what the fuck?
Produce something and sell it into a marketplace, but let's give Hasan the benefit of the doubt, because maybe what he really is calling for is socialism in the sense of redistribution and welfare systems. Looking from this perspective, there's
he's saying maybe Hasan's a Keynesian. I want to think that he just wants a welfare state, like a robust welfare state. Like, no, dude, I don't just want a robust welfare state. Anyway, you could also interrogate my opinions as I have like broadly stated them very loudly and proudly, almost to a fault, for the past 6 fucking years since this debate happened.
There's one critical flaw in socialism you hardly even see socialists themselves deal with. It is that socialism of this kind works very well in theory when you've got the wealth to begin with. But to lay out the right incentive structures...
Wait, but America does have this kind of wealth to begin with.
Sounds great.
So is he saying that like this kind of socialism would work in the United States of America? Oh, thank you.
So nice.
Thank you for agreeing with my point, I guess.
It's the red shirt. He's on the outside.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, he's literally advocating for socialism with Chinese characteristics.
For people to create the wealth in the first place, that's similar to what the debate is with something like the medical industry in the United States. The world needs the United States medical industry to invent new medicines, surgeries, and equipment in order to benefit the field across.
This is also just a straightforward lie that like Republicans say all the fucking time. Every single novel chemical compound discovery still happens ultimately with publicly funded research. That's number one. And number two, the United States of America isn't even the leader in novel chemical compound discovery when you look at novel chemical compound discovery per capita, as in other countries actually spend a significant less amount of money for a novel chemical compound discovery than the United States of America does. And the only reason why America is good at novel chemical compound discovery in general is because obviously there is a massive fucking country with a shit ton of immigration specifically for this kind of work. So that's it.
It's also funny when you look at Cuba that has like the GDP of 10 houses here in LA, and they were the first ones to fucking stop HIV transmission from mother to child.
Yeah,
through childbirth.
And they have a lung cancer vaccine as well. So yeah,
and they're doing that with no money. They're just doing it over there. It's crazy.
Yeah. U.S. Pharma also just won't produce life-saving drugs if it isn't profitable enough. I know, it's so fucking stupid.
And also they stop people from like actually like making innovative things by like evergreening their drugs. So it's just like doing like tiny little changes that have no purpose, and they just give you like property rights.
It's
and no one else can do it.
Juggling patents by finding new a lot of the R&D spending when a patent goes in to the hands of a private pharmaceutical corporation, a lot of that R&D actually is just finding new delivery mechanisms so you can extend the life of the patent for long periods of time.
But even that's just like anti-capitalist. I don't know. It's kind of funny because you got India that it's trying to make these changes, and they just keep getting like bullied out of it by like the kind of property rights of Western pharma companies.
Yeah.
Across the world, and yet the socialists still live in some kind of utopia where both benefits of that innovation can be socialized, while the incentives for people and companies to produce that innovation can be retained by giving them enough of a profit motive. For example, 90% of new drugs and medicines fail to make it to that phase 3 of trials, and more than 90% of
now he's just talking about America, like he's talking about the FDA. And again, yes, the fucking failure implies that this cannot be a capitalist endeavor. What is he talking? I feel like he's making an argument for socialism every time.
Maybe that's why so many people like it.
Yeah, maybe that's why they liked it. Except when you look at the comments, they're like, Hasan is dying from a famine of common sense. The problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. Margaret Thatcher. Imagine fleeing your country because of how socialist it was, only to come to America and say capitalism is shit and socialism is
socialist Turkey.
If socialists understood economics, then they wouldn't be socialists, says Hayek. If Hasan Piker makes only $60K a year, how did he afford a $3 million mansion he just bought in Los Angeles?
2 days ago.
Bro, how are you supposed to, a rich boy complaining about capitalism, you can't have a conversation with a person who's that stupid. Like, in his mind, there is no way that this video is like 6 years old. Like the debate that he is watching. And he just thinks like, oh, dude, I can't believe like this guy's just lying to so many people about how he's making 60 grand a year. What an idiot. He tried to hide it and he bought a $3 million mansion. What a fucking jackass.
But also, if one of their guys, what is this guy called? Millionaire Tips, Millionaire Mindset. I don't know what his name is. But if one of them was like, I make 60K a year and I bought a $3 million mansion, they'd be like, that's my God. I love this guy. Like, teach me how to do it. You know, it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this shit is so old. It's been 3 years since I bought the house, by the way. Like, that's how, even the fucking house memes are old. Why is Hasan rich? Why does he not divide his wealth? Why do people come over to America not to migrate to social countries like North Korea, China, including Hasan? Hasan and Jake, millionaire socialists?
I mean, the reason I migrated to Australia was because America bombed my country. Like, that's I think that's a pretty normal reason to flee, but I don't know.
Charlie is a walking, talking encyclopedia of facts against socialism. Isn't Hasan the same guy who said Americans deserve 9/11? I never want to hear someone rich talk about socialism unless they are willing to start it themselves and give their money to others. This man is saying, like, why don't you arm and facilitate a people's revolution?
But also, if you gave money to others, you wouldn't be rich. Like, I don't understand what he's saying. I don't want to hear a rich person do this unless they weren't rich.
Serbia has visa-free travel to China.
Yeah,
whoa,
that's how I first went to China.
What? Are you okay hiding the fact that you are a god, but scared to let people know? Whoever asked me, tell everyone you're a real god, Hasan, and your friend as well. Both of you are gods now. Yeah, I'm the god of serving the top of the hour ad break, dude. Fucking let's go.
Biotech startups fail. Somebody has to bear the cost of that, and somebody has to invest that risk. It's only fair that...
Y'all ever feel like you're forgetting talking points and becoming worse advocates for socialism? No. Not really.
I mean, I do, but that's because I'm not as good as talking. There you go.
You demonstrated that perfectly.
Fuck.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think about that at all, actually.
Whoever is responsible in case of loss is also deserving in case the drug or company is successful in turning a profit. That's the lack of understanding you see from Hasan displayed over and over again.
How about a 30-year patent on a drug
You don't
that
seem to
disallows
understand that
someone with a
90%
better
of the
idea that would
stuff we
bring down the
create
price of
doesn't
the drug?
work.
What?
It's just a weird point. He's like, Hasan doesn't seem to understand that 90% of the stuff that we make doesn't work. Like, doesn't pass the trials.
Yeah, that like,
you don't understand.
None of that, like nothing he just addresses my point at all. That like, yes, novel chemical compound discovery is a costly endeavor, just like massive fucking foundational leaps in technology, okay, require a shit ton of money to be spent on the research and development of it, including, but not limited to, the internet. And you cannot arrive at world-changing discoveries like this in technology without a shit ton of fucking publicly funded research, especially under the increasingly shorter-term profit-seeking that is required under a capitalist organization of the economy. Well, that's it.
It's much more lucrative just to make make tiny little changes to keep your property rights, and you keep exploiting that.
Yeah, this is like a moot point, especially when it comes to medicine, considering that like the rest of the world makes this work. It is one of the funniest ways in which Americans are cucked, and it's always the Republicans who are like, America first, I'm a nationalist, I love America, who then will turn around and be like, we're subsidizing the rest of the planet for, medicine, which is not even true, because most companies literally have either global distribution patents for the same fucking drug, or they have the American patent for the same fucking drug. It's never both, okay? Companies usually don't own both the American distribution patents and the global distribution patents, okay? That's how much money you can get in the United States of America, that the entire rest of the fucking planet you can sell to, or, you sell to just America, because we're fucking stupid, and our government is unimaginably cucked to corporations that until Barack Obama, it was literally illegal to do, it was illegal to do any kind of price negotiations for bulk purchases of pharmaceuticals, even for the fucking VA.
That's the saddest shit.
Dude,
that makes me so
sad. It was literally illegal, dude, which is crazy.
These guys love soldiers.
Yeah, and another one of the obviously funniest parts of this conversation is that why are corporations selling, let's say a corporation owns the distribution patent of a drug to both the United States of America and the rest of the world. Let's say they own the global distribution. Why would they sell to the rest of the world at much cheaper prices if they're not still turning profit? Are you fucking stupid? What a stupid fucking... Oh, they're magnanimous to China.
Yeah, we love those guys.
They're just like so nice to Australia and China. But when it comes to America, they're like, oh, well, we're going to fucking milk them. Like, what are you talking about? No, it's ridiculous that they can make profits in almost every other marketplace that does engage in price negotiations, because they have some kind of socialized form of medication where the government purchases these drugs in bulk, right? And then even after, they're like, oh, those profits are not enough. We want extra profits from the dumbass, fat fucking Americans who are going to pay for it because there's nothing they can do about it.
Drug so that the middle class could have the same sort of treatment that the rich and powerful have.
That's the regulation that you think I'm against?
No, I'm not saying you're against it. I'm saying what I'm for, Hasan.
I think we should... Look.
Again, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, you're right.
The free market allows itself to three really, really big things. It allows prices to go down, quality to go up, and abundance to go outward. Everywhere it's tried, whether it be grocery stores, whether it be housing, if the laws of the market...
Yeah, housing. Another phenomenal... free market.
Was this 2018?
Yeah.
What was the housing situation like back then?
It was never good.
Great.
In America, it was never good. It's like, yeah, that's why literally all of the countries with the highest fucking home ownership rates are like former Soviet bloc countries and just socialist countries still, like have some semblance of existing socialism. Oh my God. Ridiculous.
market do not stop working just because it's in healthcare. Whether it be LASIK eye surgery. LASIK eye surgery used to cost $20,000 per eye.
This is the funniest one. LASIK eye surgery is like the John Stossel argument. That's like the only argument that libertarians have, which is why it's like so fucking bad.
What, it got deregulated and got cheaper?
No, it was just never. It was never properly regulated, and that's why it was trash for the longest fucking time. Libertarians love talking about LASIK and how affordable LASIK is. And it's like, it literally sucks. It sucked for so fucking long.
The insurance companies
technological advancements that are
because of the free market,
more affordable.
The insurance companies would not cover the LASIK eye surgery.
Ridiculous.
It was a cash business. Doctors went outside of the traditional system, and all of a sudden now it costs $500 per eye for LASIK eye surgery.
Everything you're saying is flat out false. And also,
what's false about that?
Because we live under a mixed economy, Charlie. So it's a consequence of both publicly funded research and also certain private elements. So when you try to turn around and look at technological advancements that are happening in virtually every field, okay? Virtually every field on an international scale, and assume that this is just a consequence of free market capitalism, well, let's talk. Yeah, no, it's actually unicorns, dude. Unicorns are giving us magically the
Hasan, answer me a question.
If we're going to lie about this stuff, then we might as well just go all the way out.
Does insurance cover LASIK?
Does insurance
cover LASIK?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because when you don't have the insurance lobby within the negotiating of prices, then the consumer knows exactly what everything costs. The reason why healthcare costs so much in this country.
Wait, what?
He's trying to say,
lobby
he's trying to say that like insurance lobby is like engaging in like rent-seeking behavior or regulatory capture or any number of different like things, such as like they are the reason why prices are so high, which there's truth to that argument, except, you know, I'm not pro insurance. I'm pro abolition of insurance and abolition of any kind of privatization in the field of medicine due to inelastic demand. So I don't know why he's making that argument at all.
You go into a hospital, no one knows what anything costs. No one knows what anything costs, for how long you stay there, for how long the procedure is.
Yeah. The greatest counter to this is like, you're in an emergency room, okay? You got shot in the gut because luckily we have a lot of freedom and everyone has a gun and can use to shoot you. Right? Thank God for that. Bald eagle screech. Okay? What are you going to do? Are you going to pull up on your fucking Google Marketplace to try to figure
negotiate here. Come on.
To figure out which hospital is cheaper for their emergency room facilities? Like, what do you mean? Price transparency is not the end all be all of making healthcare less costly. Okay? It's fucking ridiculous.
No, I'd rather die. I think I'd rather
This
die.
dude is just watching your video, not even reacting. How does that 1 million views? I think people are stupid. That's
I think
answer.
in a year he's going to lose 57 million again.
Yeah.
it's obvious where the views are coming from.
Component of a market is pricing.
Yeah.
The problem with the system we have
and we
now,
live in a country that is virtually the only country on the planet that does not negotiate drug prices. Even Donald Trump said he was going to do this, and he's failed to deliver on that promise, among many other promises, like he was going to solve the economy or that he was going to bring about world peace. Like, this is preposterous to assume that, like, insurance, you could just unjustifiably just throw out a claim without expecting me to, I can't even talk, holy shit, refute it when you say, when you make this ridiculous assertion that insurance companies are actually decreasing prices when it's not the government.
No, they're not.
It's regulating.
Hasan, I asked a very specific question. What? LASIK eye surgery.
Someone said this dude's doing Sniper Wolf commentary. Yeah, he's just sitting there like, he didn't even talk.
Covered by insurance.
Okay.
Consumers went straight to the doctor, so they knew how much it cost. Therefore, prices went down, quality went up, and accessibility went outward. That's what happens when a market is allowed to exist.
Again, there's only one person that appears to have done their homework on the issue, and that is not Hasan Piker. All you see from him.
Yeah, that's why healthcare is so good in America. Yeah.
But do you need the other kinds of healthcare? I think LASIK is pretty much all you.
Yeah, no, classic.
Everything's
once again. The only reason why LASIK was as cheap as it was is because it's literally deregulated. That's number one. And technological innovations have obviously made it easier to do LASIK in general. Having said that, however, the idea that like price transparency, because he has to triangulate his messaging to what Donald Trump was saying at the time, and Donald Trump was saying like price transparency, I'm going to give price transparency. The notion that like you're gonna need immediate procedures that are like life-changing, like life-saving, right? And you just like pull out your phone to be like, oh, well, let me scroll through to look at all the hospital rates here, okay? Like, it's so stupid. It's a libertarian fantasy, okay? There is, at the end of the day, inelastic demand for healthcare, okay? That's it. And this isn't like this isn't like some fucking Marxist concept. Inelastic demand is you know, it's capitalist, okay?
Are you sure? I reckon it's pretty elastic. I think under communism, people are going to exploit it. They're going to just get their spleen removed, you know? Just like,
they're gonna,
the demand's going to go up if it's free.
Yeah.
You know?
They're gonna get too much healthcare. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is listing out a bunch of problems that exist in the world and making no effort to connect that to anything that fundamentally stems from the free market. The truth is that most of the world's problems that he listed have no clear line drawn to capitalism inherently. For example, British researcher Alex de Waal did an extensive study and found out that most of the world's famines today are not a result of lack of food, but from military and political action in places like Africa and the Middle East.
Which is famously not a capitalist endeavor.
No, for the past 20 years, communist countries have been rampaging through the third world.
It's so fucked up. The amount of wealth that has been extracted from the global south by communist nations is unimaginable, okay? Let me tell you. It's definitely not America. Who is responsible for these wars, I wonder?
It's not capitalism, it's America.
Yeah.
Like that's
which is
a very sensible answer.
Yeah.
And the problems in the economy, like the 2008 crash or the manipulation of the markets to their detriment, happen more from corruption and a pervasion of...
It's not capitalism, it's corruption.
Dude, why didn't I think it's bad guys?
Yeah.
It's like there's good guys and then there's bad guys, okay? Let me tell you a story. It's like there's good guys and then there's bad guys. The bad guys are Jewish. This is why liberal unmaterialist, like anti-materialist thinking lends itself so perfectly to anti-Semitic conspiracies, okay? Because ultimately, you have to find an outgroup of bad guys who are like, you know, controlling everything. And of course, historically, and these guys don't have, you know, they don't have a penchant for invention. So they end up using the oldest fucking conspiracy, which is that Jews did it. Classic.
Capitalism versus the genuine free markets. But in a world like this, it's really something to see that kind of blind virtue signaling from Hasan, and it nearly spilled over into
I like
the physical.
that he launched into this being like utopian socialist Hasan,
Yeah.
like these utopian thinkers.
No, my favorite argument is like when they call what I'm saying virtue signaling, where you're just like automatically admitting it's a virtue. So what are you doing? Vice signaling?
You're just saying the right thing because you want to look good.
Yeah.
Like, true.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, no, I agree. It is the right thing. Like, no, I'm going to say the wrong thing because it's the hard thing to say. Okay?
domain, just take a look at this incredible moment.
So Hasan, why don't you give 95% of your money away and go live on a commune?
Do you really think that that's how it works? Do you really think
Why
that that's
not?
how it works?
Go
This is
go
as
live
silly.
what you preach.
Look,
Because I, every single...
this
let me
is
finish.
as
You
silly.
talked uninterrupted for 5
This
minutes.
is-
Hassan, let me
Okay,
finish.
go ahead. Sorry, you're right. You're right.
I live
You're right.
what I practice.
Make
I'm
your
a free market
ridiculous tweet,
capitalist. I
point.
employ people. I took a risk. I have my own...
Yeah, I enslave them. I'm a free market capitalist, which is why I exploit the third world every day, and it's awesome. I'm living by my principles.
I love the whole taking a risk thing because, like, what are you risking? Just being someone who works for you? You know,
he didn't even do that. He took a risk by going to a very
Koch
wealthy, Foster Freeze, who died like a couple years back. His risk was going up to Foster Freeze, who his dad knew because his dad was a fucking contractor, and asking him for money.
That's pretty
which
risky.
he got.
That's risky though. It could have been embarrassing if he said no. Would have felt bad for a little while.
But regardless, don't you love that they're doing why don't you give away all your money? When I was making $60,000 a year, like that doesn't even make sense even now. Obviously, like it's the same argument that they make to me now. They're like, Hasan, you're rich, give away all your money then. And it's like, Yeah, dude, if I gave away all of my money, okay, if I gave away all my money and we eradicated global poverty, I would do it in a fucking heartbeat. What are we talking about? But the amount of money that I have, unfortunately, is not going to do that, okay? It's ridiculous. Foster Freeze went out of business too. Yeah, maybe he gave too much money. Well, he went out of business because he's dead. But go live in a commune. Oh, man.
Startup business every single day. I practice what I preach. He wants other people to contribute to what he considers to be a good idea, what he considers will make the world a better place. You have the freedom to go live as a socialist. Go do it, Hasan. What's stopping you?
Okay,
right.
So here's why this is ridiculous. And the last point I will make is this. Here's why that conversation is absolutely preposterous. If I gave away the measly earnings that I had and gave away 95% of that,
how much do you make,
that wouldn't necessarily even push the needle. I will be very honest. It's really embarrassing, especially because my boss is sitting right there. I make $60,000 a year, okay? And that's a really good salary, but it's not like what Ted Cruz's wife was talking about the other day when she said $174,000 salary a year. It's not like we're going to buy a second home anytime soon, but that's besides the point, okay? You're trying to attack me, which is ridiculous, like asking me what my salary is. Sure, I'll reveal it willingly.
You brought it up in context. I'm asking, why don't you live like a socialist?
Okay.
Go live like a socialist.
That's so like, oh yeah, dude, how much money do you make? It's like, okay, I make 60 grand. Like, what am I, who am I saving with that? I need government assistance, dumbass. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he fucking owned him. He has a lot of money now. Why didn't he give it away? How many people can I save with the amount of money that I could redistribute? It's like, I love when these guys basically turn into like anarchist babies on Twitter who are like, oh, if I had Hasan's money, I'd open up a soup kitchen immediately. I'd like stop streaming and immediately just open up a soup kitchen. It's like, okay, so then what next? Like, where's the stream of income coming from to maintain the soup kitchen? Like, what are we doing? Oh, I haven't really thought about that. Yeah, that's why, because you're a fucking 14-year-old anarchist, okay? You read Kropotkin, and now you think you unlock the secrets of the world. You fucking baby. The end. Anyway.
The point is larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Chank. I live as a capitalist. I live What do I do? I get charity every single year.
Hold on.
What's my salary? Less than his.
Charlie, take a seat.
Come on, Chank, let's go.
Charlie,
What are you doing?
take a seat. All right, no. Take a seat. You're going to take a seat. You're going to take a seat.
I love that the fucking people that, dude, that's so awesome. That was a legendary moment.
What was he yelling back to him? You couldn't pick up.
What Jank was saying? I don't know. I don't remember. But I do find it really funny because he's like, I live like a capitalist every day, Jank. I give to charity. And it's really funny because normally these are the same people who are like, oh, you got emotional, you lost. But of course, like when Charlie Kirk is like crying like a baby on stage,
you.
Yeah, when he's crying like a baby on stage, they're like, "Oh, that's actually cool that he did that." No, he got emotional as fuck.
Oh my God!
What's my salary?
All right.
Ridiculous. All right, behave, everyone. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I practice what I preach, Chank.
Charlie.
You
Stop.
do not practice what you preach.
Charlie.
All right, hold on.
I live like a capitalist every single day,
You
Chank.
don't want to give him the attention here.
Everyone.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Chank.
This is what his face looks like now.
Yeah. When you put up the video, I'm like,
I live like a capitalist every single day. I live like a capitalist every single day, Chank.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Chank. I live like a capitalist every single day, Chank.
Who made this?
I wish you could redo this. Fuck the bass and all, but I hate seeing him getting to you. You handle heckling like he started with so legendary now. What do you mean?
He looked pretty chill there, to be fair. I don't know.
What did this guy say? Oh, I missed it. Nobody beats creation, not even with a really strong preference of governing self in the death spiral. What?
This guy's so deep.
What is this guy doing? World already showed their colors. The slave population wasn't producing enough. What the fuck? Dude, there's so many people like this in my chat sometimes, like where they're just like, they should be taking their medication. You know what I mean?
It's just, I find it so depressing. It's like these people are so siloed that they like come up with their own like political theory without any kind of conversation with anyone else.
Yeah. We need to keep that guy? No, we're keeping him. Chen got so pissed that you said you got paid $60K. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, he was mad. He's like, oh, why are you leaking the secrets?
5,000 donors across the country, my friend Chen. We are funded by the grassroots of this country. You
Foster Freeze. Dude, Turning Point USA is funded by the grassroots of this country is so funny.
I mean, it's true in their ideology because this is just a guy who pulled himself up by his bootstraps. You know? He's a regular guy. He's just super rich. It's
just funny because it's like the exact opposite of grassroots, obviously, because it's like billionaires and millionaires. Like it's literally just astroturfing. Like making it seem like you have this like robust people back movement when it's just like a couple people. It's like 8 people giving you the money.
You could try to demagogue it all you want.
$60,000, Hasan. That would take him more than 50 years of living with zero expenses to buy the $3 million mansion he just bought in Los Angeles. But
wait,
it's like a 2018 video, and he linked to an article from 3 years ago.
Yo, I can't have a conversation with a person like this. This is like not a human. Like this person is too stupid to be declared like a human being. He's like medically something else, dude. What the fuck? That's crazy. Like, how do you deal with 1 million people thinking that like this debate happened yesterday and I wasn't making 60 grand back then? Like, how do I deal with that?
You say you're good at basketball, but last time I checked 30 years ago, you couldn't walk. So something doesn't quite add up here, son. Someone's lying here.
How old is this video? This video is from 2 days ago, chatter. Turning Point UK is a bad idea. They're trying to, because there's a charity with that name, helps the homeless. What?
Huh?
Bro, forgot to make this video 3 years ago. 3 years ago, this video would still be old. It's a debate from 2018. He watched a debate from 2018 and linked to an article from 2021 to be like, wow, dude, kind of weird. How did you buy a $3 million house with a 60 grand a year salary? Maybe we all heard that wrong. Play it back. Yeah.
Take your seat over here.
Oh my God. What's my salary?
All right. Hey, Charlie.
You do not practice what you preach.
Charlie.
All right, hold on. Last point.
You don't want to give him the attention here.
Everyone,
35,000 donors across the country, my friend Chen. We are funded by the grassroots of this country. You could try to demagogue it all you want.
$60,000, Hasan. That would take him more than 50 years of living with zero expenses to buy the $3 million mansion he just bought in Los Angeles. But
no, oh no, he's stupid. He's just dumb. So much of conservatism just revolves around you being stupid. Like, I don't know how to argue against that. I don't know how to argue against a person that doesn't understand concepts like the passage of time. Like, how do you, like, that's not even like a baby. I think a baby can understand the passage of time. This person has failed to comprehend that. And there's like an entire, like there are 1 million people who are like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think it's insane though, like how quickly the housing market has degraded. Like it was in a shit position back then. Now things are so much more expensive. I remember like 2021 when I heard about your horrendous, garish $3 million house. I was like, that's a, hefty sum of money. Like now in Sydney, there's no house in Sydney, even in the periphery, that's under $1 million.
Also, I didn't buy it with a lump sum of cash. Like I got a 30-year fucking mortgage on it. Like what the fuck? I mean, damn, you were saying right-wing commentary is easy, but I didn't think it was this easy. I'm in awe of the stupidity in display here. And also the dumb bitches in the chat going, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, he's right. You got, baby. Like, dude, you have no object permanence. Like, what the fuck? He doesn't understand the passage of time. He does not have object permanence. How do you deal with a person like that? You just can't. Like, you just send him to a mountain so he can just slap rocks for the rest of his life.
I don't even think he's like trying to argue with you. He's trying to make a YouTube channel. Like, this is a business. It doesn't really matter.
I'm not gonna lie, you did get cooked. 60K does not equal 3 million.
He's gonna start reciting the Shahada. Yeah, he's doing the fucking.
Yeah,
he's doing the learned scholar.
But that's besides the point. There's nothing wrong with making money and buying what you want. The problem is when your actions don't line up with your words, even while lecturing other people's morality on that very basis. I think Charlie Kirk throughout this entire debate tried to match the loudness of his opponent, which is certainly a different tactic.
Yeah,
to
that's why
he was jumping up and down.
Yeah, that's why I was jumping up and down, and that's what he did. he was panting like an animal, jumping up and down, just like me.
Remaining calm in response, and obviously doesn't work when you got someone like Cenk shouting from the audience. Why does Cenk seem to lose his cool at the worst possible time every time? And it certainly did nothing to help Hasan, in fact only made his side look weaker, and the larger point...
Wait, so Cenk made my side look weaker, even though I was calm and collected in that moment. Charlie got up and started screaming and crying. Wait, he didn't mean his son, right? No, he meant his side.
No, nothing to help Hasan, in fact only made his side look weaker.
Yeah, he didn't say his son.
And the larger point, I think, it's the conversation like this that reveals just how much intellectual depth there is in the pundits and streamers that so many people go to.
So, yeah, I like that the pivotal, like the big point here was that, like, the big own here is that I'm lying about how much money I made in 2018. Which isn't even in 2018, it's in 2021, which is still not how much money I make now, which is what he's sourcing off of. I love that videos like this get 1 million views in 2 days. It truly demonstrates how fucking devolved we have become as a society.
I feel like I don't even care about socialism anymore. I would like to have a channel that gets views.
Yeah. Bro, people in the comments are saying you bought the house to help smuggle illegal immigrants. These people are lost.
I mean, that is true. We are always crashing here from Australia, undocumented.
Oh, that's right. You are. Oh my God.
We wouldn't have anywhere to live.
I'm genuinely in awe, like, of how much momentum a video like this can have. This country was founded on Christian values, and this country was built on capitalism.
Cool.
Nice 2018 debate footage. Oh, this is one of mine for sure. This debate happened in 2018. You've been deceived by this editing. You have the cognitive function of a tree stump.
You've never seen an intellectual beating.
I legitimately don't know what to say about a video like this. Like, makes you realize Piker's never read a 20th century history book.
Yeah, you're famously referencing communism from the 1900s.
Yeah. Read this tweet and tell me what part of this is pro-capitalism. The federal government mobilized within 24 hours to protect hedge fund managers, but left American families to suffer lockdown and jobless for 10 months while they debated a stimulus bill.
It looks like you obliterated him. He's on your side.
Yeah, Charlie is a commie now. Alexa, make sure your CIA torture video is titled "Obliterating Hasan Piker."
Oh yeah,
true.
Yes. That's never coming out though, but good point. I'll do that.
I kind of want to watch the other one too now.
Wait, there's another one of you, or just
there's another one of this debate? I don't know why people were like, "This debate is the shit. We should bring that back." Like, this guy also did a video a month ago, or like in May.
Get into it.
Currently, the economic fails to...
It's hard work. Hey, listen, guys. I enjoy doing these
100 years.
Hasan Piker, the streamer, the millionaire streamer. This is why I call this guy a phony. He sits there in his mother's basement streaming all freaking day. Has the audacity. I saw a video of him saying that streaming was hard work. Hey, listen, guys. I enjoy doing these YouTube videos, but by no means is this hard work, right? You're not roofing in 40-degree weathers in the summer. I'm not out there like I was.
Bro, none of this has to make sense. I'm in my mother's basement, but also it's a $3 million mansion, and I'm also a millionaire. Like, which one? What is it? He literally took all debate and made a video out of it. That's usually what most of these videos are.
I think it's super unfair. Imagine being like the base conservative doing this video and seeing someone do exactly the same video like a month later and getting 1 million views.
Yeah, I'd be sad.
Yeah.
Here's another one from a year ago with 1.2 million views from Rattlesnake TV.
Capitalism is not done yet. Before we get to this next clip, guys, if you don't mind taking a second to quickly chuck a thumbs up on this video and
chuck a thumbs up in this video. Wait, I want to see like what their commentary is. I want to see if I can like click a random point of the video and have them address the exact same talking point about how I'm a fucking millionaire socialist.
Over and over again. And this one gets wild at the end when they go full on WWE, UFC, and a fight nearly breaks.
We don't have
out
rattlesnakes in Australia.
So stick around for that.
He's grifting.
This is the same title of the other video, by the way.
Oh, Decimate and Obliterate. There's some nuance there.
And yes, they have generous social safety nets. But this is in some cases because they have so much money, and also because they have a high value added tax, or VAT, otherwise known as goods and service tax, which disproportionately affects the poor and middle class. Because obviously they spend a higher amount of their income on goods and services. Furthermore, they also have up to a 200% tax on cars, and that went down to 100 recently, but that's why they're always riding around bikes with baskets on the front like idiots. And lastly,
who's he talking about though?
Just general rest of the world.
Yeah.
So very culturally homogenous and traditional societies, and traditionally they're actually the hardest countries to get into. And Sweden changed this recently and let a whole bunch of immigrants in, and they are paying the price for that. So Hasan's "but Scandinavia brah" argument really doesn't resonate with me. And Denmark even told Bernie Sanders to stop calling them socialists. It doesn't make any logical sense.
Denmark, the country. The country.
Stop, Bernie, stop.
Yeah. Also, none of those countries are socialist. They have higher degrees of socialization, which is as a filthy little revisionist myself, I use as an argument to go towards the right direction, ultimately, while beefing up unions and potentially building a vanguard party so you can collectively seize the means of production in a violent way. That's what I mean when I say that. But like these guys don't even want a social democracy. Like, what are we talking about?
I really like the argument. I've actually heard this one before, that like these European countries have walkable cities and people ride bikes because they can't afford cars. Because cars are too heavily taxed. I've never heard that before.
Because they're gay.
Yeah, well, I mean, that
they
makes
should
sense.
just say that.
That one makes sense.
All these Euro cucks are driving around. They're riding around on bikes because they're gay. At least you have an impact on many of us that have started to realize it and acting on it against you. Yeah, I mean, dude, this has been my life for the past 10 years. It just got, the larger I got, the more popular I became, the worse like the slander became. You know what I mean? When I was like not even the 10th most popular commentator on TYT, I was getting fucking shit like this. It is what it is. There's not really much you can do about it. The funniest part is you just point and laugh at how fucking stupid the arguments are, I guess. Let's see what he says here.
So regularly goes comment enough about
fleet Havana, Cuba for Miami, Florida.
I don't know. Maybe our sanctions have something to do with it.
Havana, Cuba.
So I don't know enough about this Veterans Administration to have an opinion, and my American friends can let me know in the comments about that. But on the debating side, Hasan so regularly goes for the appeals to emotion and the ad hominem attacks, which are obviously logical fallacies.
Oh. I live in a socialist country and it makes my blood boil to hear someone praise the very system that plunged my nation into misery. What socialist country?
Is this? Which one?
Yeah. It's an ad
currently in a socialist country. This person's like writing YouTube comments from North Korea. Like, what's
Hasan at $60,000 per year? How on earth did you buy a $2.7 million house?
The price has gone down.
What?
It's kind of nice. It was $3 million before.
I mean, it was 2.7 when I bought it. It's probably much higher now because the fucking housing market is dog shit. But imagine being a Hasan fan. I feel really bad for those 12-year-olds. Me on the other hand,
coming off to chat.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
I will never work a 40-hour work week if the government ever takes 60% of my income. I'll die. I'd rather die.
I'm not going to eat.
Yeah. Hasan sounds and looks like an 8th grader trying to act cool in front of some 6th grade schoolgirls. Ridiculous. That's weird that you're thinking of me as an 8th grader.
They always do
and like
it.
6th grade schoolgirls. You're a fucking pedophile. Sorry.
can get you nowhere in a debate. And this to me is the weakest points for Hasan. I mean, his ideas themselves actually make no sense when you just peel back the layers a little bit, because they're essentially just Marxist ideas and it's never worked anywhere ever. But his rhetoric is just so whiny and emotional. And every time he gets upset about something, his voice...
Unlike when Charlie's crying, when he gets up and cries. That's cool.
Passionate.
Fight breaks out. That's passion.
goes up about 8 octaves.
Socialized medicine does not work. That is disgusting.
And he tries so hard to be so hip and cool. But on the other side, I think Charlie actually could have handled this a lot.
Isn't this kind of like a cell phone though? Like they admit that I'm cool. Am I misunderstanding this point? When people say you're virtue signaling or you're trying so hard to be hip and cool, it's like, so you're recognizing that like the ideas that I'm bringing forward are cool? Like what the fuck? What does that mean? Why are you advocating for not cool things then? Follow up with no examples.
Himself, that if Charlie were to stay nice and calm, show a stoic temperance, and just focus on being very sharp and compendious, the contrast would have been day and night. You can see that Hasan was actually trying to get a reaction from Charlie here. And interestingly enough, when he does get that reaction, you see him briefly laugh and then like wipe the smile off his face. That's because
this is extra parasocial.
He should do the posture angles. What's that shit called?
Oh, I don't
check if you're dominating in the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Because Charlie took the bait. But Charlie's very strong from here on in.
This is the kind of deregulation that already caused the 2008 housing
market
crash.
I'm not going to get into
No, you're not going to get into
Fannie and Freddie rating agencies,
I know what the fuck
Federal
you're talking
Reserve,
about.
Federal Reserve lowering, Federal Reserve
dude.
lowering interest rates. Hold on, what's Fannie and Freddie, genius? What's Fannie and Freddie? Tell me what that is. Tell me about the rating agencies. Tell me about how we should have allowed Wells Fargo to pay a price, and those people should be in prison right now for doing what they did.
I agree.
And lying to federal regulators.
Charlie
and it was,
sounds like
and it
a
was
communist
a Democrat
to me.
Congress and a Democrat Senate and a Democrat president.
Advocating
that
to
did
jail
not-
bankers,
Hassan,
I'm on board, dog.
Hassan,
Let's
we
do
can
it
keep
right
on talking
now.
over each other for the next 45 minutes, or you can let me finish. The final thing I'll say on banking regulation, one of the biggest misrepresentations of reality is somehow that free market capitalism contributed to the 2008 financial crisis. It was the rating agencies.
Well, the rating agencies, they're businesses, right? They're trying to make a profit by giving people AAA ratings.
No, you don't understand. They were communists, dude.
Yeah.
The rating agencies are socialist, and so is Wells Fargo.
This is insane.
Yeah, predatory lending is actually a socialist concept. That's like, you're so dumb for not understanding this fundamental truth.
In bed with Fannie and Freddie Mac doing AAA bond rating with B and B minus rated bonds. No one looked what they were actually rating. It was the government institutions that were telling Wall Street to continue to go after subprime mortgage lending where they did credit default.
The rating agencies forced Morgan Stanley to bundle junk loans. Dude, no, you're wrong. Morgan Stanley is also socialist. So they were acting independently in a socialist way when they did that.
Swaps on top of it, leveraging the entire American economy with Alan Greenspan artificially lowering interest rates after 9/11, playing with cheap money. Pair that with the community.
What does he think about? Wait, what?
No, you go.
No, I think I suspect he's probably a fan of increasing the interest rates under the Brandon regime. Yeah, he probably loves that because he loves that. He loves that now that the interest rates are so high, right? I suspect because he's saying like it's really fucked up. Like, why are we doing quantitative easing? Like, I can't believe it. Which, by the way, Alan Greenspan, famous socialist.
Oh yeah,
famous socialist. Alan Greenspan, he did that for socialism.
Reinvestment Act, and no one actually knowing what they're trading.
I don't like liberals
all
either, dog.
certified
We're on the same page.
by Washington.
We're on the same page, but you sound a lot like a communist when you make those points. I'm just going to let you know. When you're like, let's jail bankers, let's regulate both our politicians and also these corporations. You can't just sit here and say that it's deregulation. You keep mentioning
predatory lending is acceleration is to ensure the downfall of America. Trust Wells Fargo is a literal double agent. Yeah. They were trying to do permanent first world genocide by collapsing the housing market in America.
The failures of capitalism, and then your solution to the failures of capitalism is more capitalism, more free market.
Failure of statism. Well, you know how about the failure? How about the successes of free market capitalism? The fact that we have abundance in light, air conditioning. The fact that we have more food that we throw away every single year.
Yeah.
You're talking about Thomas Edison?
No, socialism means no. Dude, what? You don't know? Socialism means no light.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. I like that China is literally the perfect counter to all of these arguments, by the way. Like,
Lots of lights.
whether statism, lights, abundance of air conditioning.
Oh, God.
Poland is the most socialist. They have no light bulbs. That's because they don't know how to turn them on.
Yeah.
It's funny that they like watch this debate once again from 2018 and they're like, he's doing a great job when he says socialism is no light. Like,
Then we actually eat. The fact
Wait,
that in
exactly.
the Western
You
world,
think that's a good thing? You think that our waste is a good thing, dude?
we have an
should
abundance problem in the West,
we
not a
have an
scarcity
abundance-
problem.
Yeah.
In Venezuela, the average Venezuelan has lost 17 pounds. Oh, yes? 4,000% inflation. Yes. Brink on the Civil War.
Venezuela,
yes. Number one
the
oil
only
reserves in the world.
socialist
They don't have a
country on the
functioning
planet,
economy.
everybody.
Venezuela, higher rate of privatization than France, like in 2012. The beacon of socialism, Venezuela. Well, you like Maduro, so go ahead. You can take this one.
No, I
Go ahead,
think
defend him.
everything Venezuela's done has been correct. The only thing that brought them down is like oil price.
Yeah, they should have.
They would have been right there if the Saudis didn't start.
Well, that and
selling
also
it for cheap.
that and also not immediately arresting and nationalizing the entirety of the food production in the country. In my opinion, that is a genuine problem. The Chamber of Commerce after the first coup should have literally been, dismantled. Every single enterprise that is privately owned should have been given to the state. And they would have been like, yeah, sorry, you get to do one coup. If it fails, we take everything.
They also have like a million Charlie Kirks there. There are so many, like all the private channels are guys like him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're too fucking cucked. Like you got to do full Cuba. Like you can't do half measures. When will these dumbasses learn?
I think it might have been one of the more like red hot things that Corbyn said. When he was like, the failure of Venezuelans, so they didn't get rid of everyone when they came in. Was it Corbyn? It was some English politician who was like, where the fuck, how could you say that in England? Like you're getting in so much trouble.
This is why our ass gets clipped. I mean, I do low-key kind of mean it though. If you know the history of like, if you understand the history of like Venezuelan coups and whatnot, like the entire media apparatus that is internally ran by like 8 food, like they're like the grocery store franchise owner owns like every fucking media company and they're constantly pumping out reactionary ass propaganda. It's literally, there's so much of that.
And they're meant to be a socialist country. They're not like, they're very, very democratic.
Lyra Peach, Cuba is so great. People escape on rafts. I know. Cuba is so bad that like we have to keep them under full blockade. That's why. Yeah. It's just so bad in Cuba. And not because of the largest imperialist force on the planet consistently dominating it for the crime of fucking resisting against our guy, Batista, that was literally fucking running slave camps the entire time. Yeah, Cuba is an island, the tiniest of islands. The tiniest of islands that has been dominated by American imperialism since its revolution for the crime of doing a revolution. They will literally tell you the embargo doesn't hurt much. Why don't we stop it then? If it's not like, if it's inconsequential, why don't we stop it? We're just having fun with it. Like what's the reason? I don't think people getting in rafts from Venezuela to go elsewhere are just looking for a fun vacation. Wait, what? Who the fuck is getting on? The only people that are getting in rafts to go to Venezuela and getting arrested.
Oh yeah, I've seen those guys.
I mean, there's protests because there's no food or water. Yeah. Once again, first of all, protest because there's no food or water in Cuba. What the fuck are you talking about? That's number one. Number two, yes, Cuba is extremely poor. Let's think about, let's just take a deep breath and think about why it's poor. What do you think is going on in this fucking tiny ass island? Like what do you think? What do you think is happening? You think that it's just like, it's run by pure evil people? Is that why they're like, haha, we have so much food and resources, but I love not giving it to people. Oh.
But I love that it's always like taken in a vacuum. You look like next door to Haiti, who doesn't have these issues. And you're like, what's happening to them? Why aren't they fucking
famously, you're
super rich?
Yeah. Out of all your debates, I don't think you've rolled Charlie harder than this. I'm not clicking on that. I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm saying what is going on. Yeah.
I mean, no one's disagreeing with him.
It does seem like, yeah, if you were
Cuba is,
you kind of are though. Cuba is so great. People escape on rafts. Like, whose fault is that, you think? Okay. Like, you can't come in here and be like, Cuba is so great. People escape on rafts. And then you just like avoid the top of the hour, which is the elephant in the fucking room here. Okay. Yeah, isn't it suspicious that all of these countries that are that have so much discontent or so much poverty happen to also be on the receiving end of crippling sanctions?
I think it's coincidental.
That's probably just a coincidence, right? Like America, America's actually doing helpful sanctions.
Well, they're
on these
sanctioning
countries.
them to get rid of the regime that caused all these problems.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
the
true.
thing. Once they're gone,
that's
sanctions
true.
are gone. Everything
Like
gets better.
when the problems didn't exist, though, when obviously like Venezuelan oil was a pretty hot commodity, and Venezuela was like seen as like this beacon of light. What did they do? Oh, that's right. They tried to coup then. Back then, that was also a helpful coup, though. What is America's doing so great? It will not sign the war crimes treaty. Yeah. It was a good coup, not a bad one. I've learned from you that the USA has a hand on it. Yeah,
Oh, that's
because you know, you're probably consuming a lot of, without recognizing, a lot of right-wing content. It's probably not signaling as right-wing content, but that is what's going on.
Yes, the fact they have 42% unemployment. Yes, the fact that Maduro continues to exploit his citizens around the lies of Karl Marx. Yes, is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
He's
so
cute.
fucking nerdy.
I love him.
Ay. If Cuba had just let the American casino mob bosses stay in control, had the money, then they wouldn't have so many problems. Capitalism wins again. Yeah. It was so good. That's why they were sending a steady flow of weapon shipments into Cuba as the revolution was happening. That's why. Just to, defend Cuba, obviously. Which was good. Everyone was happy about it when that was going on. Is this the event that he asked?
Drinks?
Yeah, he did. I think it was this event. Yeah.
Do you want to hook up with you? What's the?
He
what
literally
vibes are you
invited me to
getting?
go get drinks with like Mike Cernovich. I was like, that is the worst. I would rather kill myself immediately. Wait, what is this guy doing? Is he at a concentration camp?
Soviets took control of the North and started building a Soviet-style socialist economy. Today, North Korea is languishing in desperate poverty.
It's just this thing happened in what, like 1945?
Yeah.
And now,
which I love, dude. South Korea under like American rule was
military dictatorship.
literally more brutal than like what you think North Korea is right now. Okay. And also, I wonder what massively consequential global event happened to yet another country that not only was like almost completely wiped out, wasn't even a country. They designed it as a country on their own, wiped it out, and then also dissolved the only other country that was their lifeline. I wonder how this country was so fucking poor throughout the entirety of the 90s, like into the early 2000s. Like, I wonder what happened. These people live in fantasy land. Okay? I'm not like this man to my left. I'm not going to run around saying everyone's eating hot dogs and hamburgers in North Korea.
they were.
Okay.
That's what I saw. I'm just talking about my experience.
Yeah, I mean, you did go there. Here's the proof. You have the poster that you stole, Otto Warmbier style. Skill issue for Otto. You didn't.
And extreme political corruption and totalitarianism, whereas South Korea is a rapidly developing and thriving economy. And all of the fastest growing economies in the world, i.e. China, India, and many African nations now, have been able to do so because they've instituted free market principles. There are literally...
When I think of the bounties of free market capitalism and decentralization, I think of Somalia. Like these guys literally forget that the overwhelming majority of poor countries that are still being absolutely ruthlessly stolen from are still capitalist countries.
Oh, they're more capitalist than a lot of these countries.
Yeah. So what the fuck are we talking about? Yeah, India, another socialist country. Oh, Jesus.
Zero countries that make the same progress by instituting Marxist policies. They literally all fail and normally turn genocidal. But I'm sure that if Hasan had his way, then the socialist utopia would be brought about. But Charlie is about to put...
I love the non-genocidal capitalist countries of the United States of America and Israel.
the nails of logic in the coffin and show that Hasan's arguments just don't stand up. They're too weak.
Like, people always come up to me and tell me,
free market principle, South Korea in the 70s is literally national capitalist country. What do you mean? It still is. They just literally turned a military dictatorship into like two companies owned by like two families. It's still the same shit. It's just instead of a military dictatorship, now it is run by literally two families. It's the same shit still.
people always come up to me and tell me, hey, Hasan, why do you want to take away my earnings? And I told them, I'm not trying to take away your earnings. I'm trying to make sure your bosses give back what is rightfully yours. These are your earnings. You work for them, okay? And it is very obvious that corporations are not magnanimously going to, anytime soon, give you back those wages. So we have to implement regulation. We have to implement certain policies. This could be UBI. I don't really like it that much, but this could potentially be taxes on the wealthy and corporations. Like, there are many different ways to do it. Or this could be regulating the wages in some way, or allowing unions to exist in countries. I can't believe you're booing this, man.
Here's the big philosophical difference and problem, is that Hasan says, well, I don't want to take your worker earnings away. I want to go after your employer, essentially to make sure. I don't have the right to tell anybody what to do with any of their money. That's the big difference.
Yeah, no, totally. That's
but
why
the
I
boss
think
has the right to.
Yeah, the boss has the right, which is why we should bring back slavery. Like, I don't understand. Wait,
I don't have the right to tell this guy what to do.
I don't know. I can't do that. No, what do you mean? Just like enslave people again. What the fuck?
Hasan, is that you're trying to.
It's their money, Charlie. It's the workers' money. They are just taking away and accumulating the profits for themselves. I'm not. And by the way, I'm not even saying abolish all profit.
Marxist argument.
How come he gets
just because it's Marxist doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Stop being an idiot, dude. God damn it.
You got a little lapel?
Like
what?
How come you got a little lapel and he gets the microphone?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that worked out like that, but it did.
Oh, okay. So I'm so glad.
So glad you admitted it.
You mentioned that. So
it's so silly. Like as if we implement socialized medicine, we're going to eat rats like Venezuela.
I didn't say it was bad. I said it was Marxist, and now I'm going to tell you why it's bad.
Oh, okay.
The problem with the Marxist argument is the incentive structure. In a free market system, incentives, everybody is incentive to create value, get a job, or take a risk and employ people. Under a Marxist socialist system, you're incentivized to either run for political office, get as much power as you possibly can, to try to extract money away from people that don't have it.
What about cooperatives? Like, I don't understand. There's multiple different ways to do this.
And do that voluntarily. Go do what the Amish do. Go live in northern New York.
No, but
famous communist Amish people. They are pretty sick.
Sam Cedar was pissed about the microphones too because it meant that he couldn't talk back when he was getting yelled over. He saw how Charlie was able to yell over you and opted for the hand mic. Yeah.
In America, we have people that live in cooperatives today. Don't tell me how to live my life. You can live your life however you want to.
It's just,
the big difference and distinction.
Yeah, it's just freedom, dude. I don't understand. Like, it's the freedom to fucking die if you don't work for me.
It's not, death is an incentive.
Yeah,
it's an incentive to get a job.
Yeah, being homeless, seeing all the homeless people, like, what do you think is going to motivate people to get back to fucking work? Okay, we gotta have these homeless people around.
Is that it's impossible to live as a capitalist in a socialist country. You can live as a socialist in a capitalist country.
It's impossible to have capitalism without socialism. You could never.
How's that?
You could never implement capitalism without public roads, without the infrastructure necessary to bring private industry. What the hell are you talking about? You can live in a socialist country. It won't be great. If it's a fully socialist country, I don't think we've been able to figure that out yet. So I'm not even saying that a fully socialist country will be great. But you have never.
Coward.
Yeah, he got you there.
Fucking, I'm a coward. Coward.
Ever lived in a fully capitalist country?
You pay tolls.
What is going on?
So that's it. That they're financing.
Toll roads only.
There aren't any other kinds of roads in America.
Toll roads only. That's awesome, dude. Sometimes I do want to live in that fucking anarcho-capitalist dystopia that they want to talk about, so I can just like buy Charlie Kirk. You know what I mean? When all of his like donors die out, and then I could just buy him.
Beautiful.
And make him my manslave. There he goes again. Ottoman talking about buying white people again, dude. I'm sorry. It's just Lord forgive me. I'm back to my old ways.